I'm firing up the Lone Star Grillz offset today. We're going to be smoking some beef cheeks. We're going to be doing street tacos with a gringo twist. Stay tuned. Let me show you something new from Lone Star Grillz. This is their new fire management basket, and man, I have been wanting something like this. I reckon one of the things that you have to do quite often is, as the fire burns down, logs will roll off. You open it up and a log will be way over here out of the fire. This is going to prevent that. Now you can actually put your logs right in here, holds everything in there nice. So what I'm going to do is start with a bed of charcoal, and that's going to get my logs started. I'm going to probably start with 2 small splits, and then probably one every 45 minutes to an hour, or as needed. We're going to be smoking somewhere around 250 degrees. But this is a 3/16 steel, nice and heavy. And if you happen to have the propane gas assist on your pit, it's already got the hole cut out for that. So this is a perfect fit. It'll go all the way towards the back, and it stops right here at the front of your grate. Now this expanded metal, you can remove that. In all honesty, I don't even know why you need it, because you got the 1/2-inch grate right under there. But it's here anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it in. Now I did spray this down with Pam. Why, I don't know. I know it's gonna get all burnt off, but I figure it couldn't hurt anything, so I went ahead and done that. Matter of fact, when I first got this pit, I sprayed this entire firebox down, and as you can see, that 1/2-inch grill grate is really holding up well. There's no rust on it. You know, it's almost like a thick grease on there, even though I use it quite often. So I've got some charcoal briquettes heating up right now. Just as soon as they're ready to go, we're going to pour it into our fire management basket, and I'll place a couple logs on. All right, I'm going in with the charcoal. There we go. Spread it out. Now the wood I decided to go with is post oak. I figure post oak would be really good with this beef. Just gonna put a couple little splits on here to start with. All right, we're gonna close her up. I got the stack wide open on this for good ventilation. All right, the inspiration for this video was a video that I watched just here recently from Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue, and he made the barbacoa, the beef cheek street tacos. I'm like, I'm doing that. That looks so good. And so I was able to source out some beef cheeks. 2 of them is Texas Wagyu from Hassel Cattle Company. I'll have a link in the description for that. And the other 3 I've got from a totally different meat purveyor, and that's all grass-fed. So I'm going to actually keep up with what's what, to where I can tell you the taste difference between the grass-fed and the Texas Wagyu that come from Hassel's at the end of this video. And anyway, that was the total inspiration for this. So I'm gonna have a link for Joe's channel. Go over there and check him out. He does a lot of barbecue, and he's got a lot of different pits that he uses in his cooks. He's got offsets, he's got drum smokers, pit brow cookers, basically everything I got, maybe more. I'm not really sure. But go over there and check him out. I'm sure he would appreciate it. And he does a thorough video. I mean, his videos, he don't hold back on nothing. You know what I'm saying? He really gives good explanations on everything. So go over there and check him out. All right, so let me show you what I'm working with here. These are the 3 grass-fed beef cheeks. As you can see, we got some silver skin, a little bit of fat. I'm gonna trim all these down. They're actually not bad. If you ever seen beef cheeks, they are usually covered in fat, so these have been trimmed down pretty good. You got quite a bit on the back of this one. Now these are the 2 from Hassel. Same thing, you got this layer of fat. I will be removing that silver skin and exterior fat. This thing is loaded with fat, so there's no danger of it drying out, as you'll see at the end of this video. So I'm gonna unpackage these. I'm not gonna bore you with all this. You know how to trim meat like that. So I'll bring you back when it's time to season. Oh, and by the way, this beef cheek from Hassel is not on their website. I know he's got it because it was sent to me. So you could probably either call, or perhaps he'll put this on the website after seeing this video. So here's my 2 piles of beef cheek. This is the 3 Now each packet, I say 3, that's actually 6 beef cheeks. That came with each cheek in each bag. Now these are bagged individually. This is the Hassel, this is the Texas Wagyu, and that bag there was actually cut into 3 sections. This one was whole. These aren't quite as big as these. I don't know, they're similar. Yeah, they're real similar. But I will say something about the grass-fed. It had some of the thickest sinew on the back I ever seen. It was like leather, so it was a little laborious getting all that off the back. But we got them ready to season, and what I'm using today, I'm using Malcolm Reed's Grande Gringo. This is like a Mexican seasoning. It smells a lot like a taco seasoning. It's going to be good on these beef cheeks, so that's what we're going on with. And I'm just putting I'm not going to bore you obviously with the whole process, but we're just going to put a nice healthy dose on each side of this, just about like that, and this stuff pours out really good. Oh yeah, there's that familiar smell. It's got the cumin and things like that in it. But I'm just going to take all these, and like I said, I'm going to keep these separate to where I can keep up with which is which, just for my own knowing. At the end I can kind of compare between the two. Alright, I've got my pit. It's somewhere between 250 and 275. I've closed the intake just a little bit. Going to try to get it down about 250. It's no big deal. It'll cook just fine at 275 if that's where it ends up. So we're going to open our pit up. We got a good smoke rolling, and I love the smell of post oak. Alright, let's take our beef cheeks. Now I've got to remember which is which. On this end here, this is the Wagyu, the Texas Wagyu. We're going to lay that there. Little pieces right here around it. Okay, that's our Wagyu. This is our grass-fed. That's a nice thick one there. Alright, so like I said, we're going to put about 2.5 hours of smoke on this, and watch your temperature, maintain our fire. We'll be back. I've got about 30 more minutes. I'm going to let these smoke. I've been going 2 hours. I've looked at them once, and what I'm going to do, oh, by the way, I'm still holding, it's just a tad over 250, so this thing rides really good. It always has. This is my favorite pit above all. I absolutely love it. Alright, what I've got here is some Arbo dried chilies, and I've got some ancho dried chilies. And I'll show you here in a little bit what I'm doing with these. I just want to basically heat these up, make them a little bit more pliable, and get a little bit of smoke flavor on them. Alright, I'm going to close the lid, and in about 30 minutes I'll be back to remove all this. Alright, so since the last time you seen me, I haven't added any more logs or anything. I've just let this temperature come down naturally. I'm right under 225, and we are done. We're getting ready to pull this. We're not done, we're just done with the smoker. So the first thing I want to do is remove all the meat. There's our beef cheeks. Got a nice color on them. They look a little dry, and that's completely normal. That's the rub on the outside part. But what we're getting ready to do to these is going to change it completely. Right now. Alright, that's my grass-fed. This is the Texas Wagyu. Trying my best to track it. Ooh, boy, that smells good. Man, I love post oak. By the way, if you're hearing a lot of stuff in the background, today is Mardi Gras for our area. We had a parade that just ran through here. People's blaring music. Just had a wild chase through here. 6 sheriff's car after some kids on a 4-wheeler. I mean, they were screaming down this road. All right, now I'm gonna remove the peppers. Like I said, they just made them a lot more pliable. Add a little bit of smoke flavor. All right, I'll see you indoors. All right, what we got here is the mirepoix. This is 2 large onions. We got some celery and we got some carrots. And man, somebody is really cranking up the bass down the street. Like I said, it's Mardi Gras. It's coming right through the house. Into this, well, first let me take some more of this Malcolm Reed's seasoning here. The Grande Gringo. We're just going to season this. This is going to be, for right now, this is what we're going to braise our meat in, and then eventually it will become a sauce that we will pour over or into our tacos. Now I'm going to take these poblanos, which these have been dried, so now they're called an ancho. We're just going to toss these in. I'm just taking the stems off, leaving the seeds in. All right, now we're going to put the Arbo chilies in here. Now these Arbos, they pack some heat. We're leaving the seeds in there. They run anywhere from 30 to 50,000 on the Scoville unit. So I've got 6 going in. In addition to that, I've got 1 can of chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. Pouring the entire ingredients into that. All right, we're just going to spread that out a little bit. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all these beef cheeks and we're just going to place them on top of this. Might have should have went for a little bit bigger pan. All right, now I'll tell you what, let me put these on top of this. We're going to cover this with foil anyway, so it's not going to really matter. The reason I'm doing this, I'm wanting to keep track of the Wagyu. This is the Texas Wagyu going over here, as well as this right here. It's got a nice bark on this. Everything's set good, which once we shred this for tacos, it should have some really crispy pieces on it. All right, now the last and final thing I'm doing is I'm taking beef broth, and we are going to pour, it's probably going to take this entire container, but this is what it actually braises in. You want to bring it up to at least the bottom of your meat. Completely submerge your vegetables. Your vegetables will also be putting off water as they begin to cook. All right, that looks good. It's just the right depth to the bottom there. So I'm going to wrap this tightly in foil, and it's going into the oven. Now, I could have continued this outdoors in my smoker, but I didn't want to waste the wood. My gas, I got a gas furnace, gas stove, gas water heater. My gas bill is normally around $21, $22 a month. So I'd rather come in here, since it's not going to get no more smoke, it's going to be completely wrapped. We'll finish it off at 300 degrees. It's probably going to take another 3 hours to get really fall apart tender. I'm talking about look at it and it falls apart, and that's what we're after. So the smoker shut down, no more wood being wasted, and the oven is preheated, so this is going in. I'll be back. All right, we've got a really good tight seal on this. Oven's preheated. In we go. Like I said, around 2.5 to 3 hours. I'll check it probably here in about 2 hours. I ended up going 3 full hours. It smoked for 2.5. It's been in the oven braising for another 3, for a total of 5.5 hours. And it's probed tender. I probed this 20 minutes ago. I pulled it out. I let it rest. I did pull this foil up to let the steam out. So let's go ahead and remove that completely. Let me show you what I'm going to do. All right, so I'm going to move this off to the side. Take a look at this if you don't think it's tender. I mean, it's just coming apart. Super juicy. Look at the smoke ring on that. Okay. Now I've got to try to remember. Now this has done got hard. I think this is Wagyu. This is Wagyu. Boy, that's really tender. Look at that. Okay, this one right here, that's Wagyu. and this one. All right, I just took a little bite of this, the Wagyu one, and fantastic meat, and it's now creeping up on me just sitting in this sauce with those Arbo chilies, man. This has got a nice spice level to it, so I can imagine what the sauce is going to be like. All right, we're going to take the braising liquid carefully, and we're going to pour this. You know what? I might have to go get my other pitcher because, no, I don't know if this is going to work or not. I don't think this is tall enough. All right. Nope. Hang on. Technical difficulties. Be right back. All right. So let's swap this one out for this one. I think we're going to have a little bit more success here. Oh yeah, much bigger. Now we can take all these veggies that's in this pan, put them in as well. All right, there we go. Let's blend it. Give this a little taste here. Ooh, that's got a really good flavor. All right, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the lid back on. We're just gonna let this hang out. I'm gonna get this out of the way. I'm gonna go ahead and start shredding this meat. I'm gonna do it by hand. I mean, look at that. It's pretty easy. Just pull, tear, shred. So the gringo twist that I'm putting to this is simply the shells that I'm using. I like flour tortillas. I use them quite a bit, and that's almost what I went with. But something else I like is the crunchy corn tortillas. What I don't like, and I've used it in other videos, taco videos, trying to stay authentic, but I don't like the ones that you just warm up in oil and, you know, it's not crispy. To me, it's just, I don't like the texture of it. So I'm deep frying tortillas. I've got 6 right here ready to go in. So let's go ahead and drop them in. We're going to drop them in our deep fryer. I'm running about 325 degrees. And all you want to do is cook this until they're like golden brown, and they'll be nice and crispy. That I like. I say gringo in me because, hey, I'm American. I grew up around American style tacos, you know, the El Paso from your Walmarts or whatever. So I've really grown to like the crispy, crunchy shells. All right, so some of you will probably ask me, where did you get that cool taco fryer at? Well, I bought it off of Amazon, but I'm going to tell you right now, read the reviews and you'll know what I'm talking about. That's what I did. That is an 8 taco fryer basket or fryer mold. And I had to modify it. I had to remove 2 spaces. That's 2 tacos gone. Now it does 6, but I had to modify it to fit my fryer. And between a Dremel tool, a little cutting blade, and a welding machine to retack everything, I was right back and rolling. You want to deep fry these between 325 and 350, right in that range right there, and around 3 minutes. You have a lot of bubbles at the beginning, then your bubbles come down to hardly anything, and that's what I got right now. And I'm calling these done. You want to drain all that grease out of your tool here. And I have a cookie sheet lined with paper towels, and we'll just finish draining them on that. All right, here we go. Perfect. Just a nice golden brown, like I said, around 3 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna be frying a lot of these, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish this video by assembling 3 of these and show you how it's gonna look. We're gonna do a taste on it. I'm gonna do a comparison between the Wagyu beef cheek and the grass-fed beef cheek. And so I'll be right back. All right, so I let the family a few minutes ago taste the difference between these cheeks. The grass-fed versus the Hassel's Cattle Company Texas Wagyu, and their expression, I wish I had the cameras rolling because they thought the first one, which was grass-fed, was really good. Like, oh man. Then they bit into that, and it's like, can y'all kind of replicate that some? What y'all think?
The difference was amazing.
The difference was amazing. What's amazing about it?
The grass-fed is good.
Yeah.
But the Wagyu, it just melted in your mouth. It was just even better.
All right, I hope you're coming over my mic. Yeah, I agree, and I did the same thing. So anyway, we're going to start with this Wagyu. What I did is I separated it into individual aluminum foil packets, and we're going to put that into this first taco here. And I want a little bit more because I'm going to have to taste both of these myself to draw a conclusion. We're going to fold that back. The meat is still very nice and warm. Now we're going to go on with some of the grass-fed. And it's good too. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's really good. It's just, I love doing a comparison. All right, now, so only on these two tacos, I'm going to go ahead. This is the sauce that everything braised in. And I like some heat, so I'm drizzling this on mine. And if this ain't hot enough, I've got some fire water in my bedroom that will really light these tacos up. All right, now we got some fresh Pico De Gallo. My wife put this together, which is onions, tomatoes, jalapenos, cilantro, and a little lime juice. And that's how I'm going to do these. Now I'm going to go ahead while I'm here, because we got to get a thumbnail for this. I'm going to take this Wagyu, the Texas Wagyu from Hassel. We're going to go ahead and build a third taco minus the hot sauce. And we're just going to go on with the Pico De Gallo. Now we're going to go on with some Mexican Parmesan cheese. Actually, it's called Tahija. Am I saying that right?
Cojita.
Tahija. Huh? Cotija.
Yes, cojita.
Cotija. Gringo all the way. Part redneck. Yeah, all right. So we're just going to sprinkle that on there. I'll tell you what, the Mexican style cuisines, even though they're Americanized, is like some of my favorite food. They're all put together here. Look at that, man. That looks good. Now, I've got some lime, and that's really the last thing you do. You take some of that lime, and you just take and put just a little bit on top of there for a little bit more pop. The Pico's already got lime in it. So here we go. Keep in mind, this is the one that's got that hot sauce on it. And this is the Wagyu. The other one is the, what's it called?
Grass-fed.
Grass-fed. Here we go. Amazing crunch on that tortilla, man. I love that. Love it on any kind of tacos. This is fantastic. This meat, oh my God, it just melts in your mouth. It's so tender. And of course, who doesn't like this combination of the pico? And it's just, I don't know, it just screams Mexican, even though, like I said, I put my own little twist to it. That cilantro really brightens that up. All right, let's go for the other one. And I'll be honest with you, probably the mere fact that you got all these other condiments on top of this, I hope I can discern the differences in the meat. It's probably going to be negligible, actually, but we're going to see. Here we go. All right, just as I thought, there's so much going on with the flavor in these to where I can't really discern between the Wagyu and the other one. All I know is they're good. They're very good. The Wagyu is more tender, but they're both just falling apart tender. I showed you that when I pulled it. But my God, man, I love these flavors. Excellent stuff. Look, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I want to say something about that Lone Star Grillz fire management basket. Man, you know, I have had that all set going on 3 years. And the one problem I run into is, like, when you build your fire, you have logs that roll off as things burn down. They roll out of place, you open that crap, and you got to take your tongs, you got to move it, you got to do all this stuff. And so with that, man, it was a breeze. I started with that layer of charcoal. I added one, well, actually I put one in a real small stick in there, and then another one, then another one. I think I went through 3 small splits during a 2-hour cook, and it did fantastic. I never had to poke it, never had to stir it up. The fire kept going the entire time. So big props to Lone Star Grillz for designing that and coming out with it. I would encourage anybody that owns the Lone Star Grillz offset to invest in that. They don't cost that much, by the way. But all right, I've got more shells to fry. People are hungry. They're sitting there waving at me. Hey man, hurry up. You know, so I'm gonna end it right here. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, smoke your ribs.